Alright, hello guys, and welcome to this Tier 2 PlayStation stream. Today, we are racing around Belgium, which is a track very familiar amongst the NRL faithful. But it'll be an interesting qualifying session with a lot of drivers desperate to make a point and to get themselves back into championship fight. That man being Jetsy Osso, who's missed obviously the last 2 rounds, which has led to him falling off a bit in the driver's standings. But he's back again, and we have a very good grid today. 18 drivers tonight, so it's going to be interesting to see how they all fare. Expect traffic to play a big part in today's qualifying session, and won't be surprised if we see a few laps impeded, as it is very difficult to get out of the way. Look at the traffic already on the Alpine's lap of Yeatmex. He's at the back of an almost 5-car train, but National Championship leader is on an outlap, and so is his teammate Jetsy. Only Money the Sheiks, Dirk and Charlie opting to stay in the pit lane at the moment, but the first person to set a lap will be Milky Streamer. A very long circuit Spa. I think pole times will be in the low 142s. We could definitely see someone in the 41s if they nail the lap, but that'll be very difficult to achieve around such a long lap. There's so many corners to make mistakes, and you have to keep it consistent if you want to achieve anything in terms of winning. Oh, sorry, I accidentally switched off movie stream, but the long lap allows for more overtaking opportunities, but of course it's very difficult to overtake apart from the 2 straights, the back straight and not the home straight, but like the main straight, obviously that finishes sector 1s. But at the moment Milky Streamer put in a respectable sector 1, but it definitely won't be the quickest we've seen today. But Milky Streamer at the moment, he's kept it pretty safe and stayed off the curves, but as I say that, he invalidates, so that's rather unfortunate for him. But it was looking like a good lap up until that point. MW15 will be the first car to cross the line with a valid lap, presuming he keeps it clean through this final sector, which he should. Obviously only real corner you have to navigate in the final sector is the bus stop chicane, which is very, very easy to get wrong, but he keeps it nice and clean through the bus stop as he runs to the line. What's it going to be for MW15? It is P1 with a 1:45.5, so yeah, not a quick lap, which is quickly beaten by Dan Snyder's 43.7. So yeah, not the quickest lap from McLaren there, but I'm sure he will be improving soon. Dibaldine goes P3 with a 46.1, and then Jayville on the mediums goes P2 with a 44.8 before Kieran slides into P3 with a 44.9. Ken 9543 takes provisional pole on the mediums with a 43.6. Great lap from the Finnish driver. Lord Busy's now up into P3. Rochi's at the bottom at the standings of the moment. Emex goes to P7. And AlphaTauri crossed the line. That was Danilo with a 44.9. And a very hectic session at the moment. Conan Klon is coming to cross the line, 45.9. He goes into P10. Milky Streamer is going for it again on his tyres. Mowing the Cheeks, Dirk and Charlie on the pit lane. Casper is coming to the line. Let's see what Aston Martin can do on the mediums. He goes last with 48.3, so he's going to have to improve on that lap time if he wants to be competitive. Jetsy has backed off his lap and he's actually coming into the pit lane, so I wonder if he maybe picked up damage on his hot lap. Milky Streamer is coming to the end of his second lap in the Mercedes. Let's see where he can put the Mercedes. Can he put on the front row? And I've actually missed Prince Clonte has put his AlphaTauri on the front row with a 43.786. I was just wondering where he was, but he's gone 10 positions higher than Milky Streamer, who currently sits P12 with 46.5 lap time, so not an awful lap, but obviously not the quickest. Mind the Cheeks now and Dirk exiting the pit lane for the first time as Dirk accidentally shifts into neutral on the pit lane exit. But look, 1, 2, 3, 4, as someone just improved. I believe that was Kieran in the second lap, went 7 tenths quicker onto 44.2 now, so very good lap time from him. Ken's into the pit lane. He is currently provisional pole with that medium lap time, so great stuff from him at the moment, but he will need to keep improving if he wants to be competitive towards the end of this session, as track grip is of course not optimal, and Dan Snyder was one of the first to set the lap times on was one of the first to set his lap time, so he definitely would have had less grip than the Williams had, so he's going to have to it'll be interesting towards the end of the session when it's optimal grip for all drivers. Ken is a very good driver and definitely someone who could challenge these guys at the front of the grid, Prince Clonte, Dan Snyder, but we'll have to wait and see what he can do on the soft tyre, because he's not showed us his full pace at the moment. But Many the Cheeks now is on a fast lap. He moved up to tier 2 from tier 3, and he's now driving for the Williams team in his first season in NRL, I believe, but he's been very impressive at times and has picked up a few podiums from time to time. I'm not sure if he's won a race yet. I don't think he's won a race, but he has been very, very quick, but unfortunately for him, too quick for his own good, as he invalidates coming out of that tricky section of corners. But Dirk is on an outlap. This man very much in the title hunt. 98 points. He's only 8 off Prince Clonte, who's about 40 off Dan Snyder. So these guys still have a long way to go if they want to challenge Dan Snyder at the top. But anything is possible in tier 2, and tonight could be a big, big race for both Dirk and Prince Clonte. Everyone else, maybe Jetsy, still in championship contention, but I think everyone else below that has been eliminated from championship contention, which is a shame, as we want to see as many drivers battling for the title as possible. But you can only do that if you're the quickest, and Dirk is the quickest through the first sector. I didn't quite catch his sector time, but it is definitely quick, as he was purple. He gets downhill section hooked up pretty nicely as he comes to he gets on the curb, and that is Dirk. Dirk has lost it, and Dirk is out of the session, and that's a huge DNF in the title fight. Dirk has been eliminated from qualifying and will start P18. That is disaster for Dirk. Dirk is out of the session, and his car's now gone. No, it's still there, and that's disaster for Dirk. P3 in the championship at the moment has now lost his chance of a good qualifying result. Is Charlie's done a 27.3 through the second sector, a good lap time at the moment. Jesse's on another lap as well. Dan Snyder is as well, but Dan Snyder's slowing down, giving Jesse a bit of a slipstream here. So tactics from Alfa Romeo, I'm not sure if they quite got that slipstream right, as Dan Snyder actually got quite a bit in the way of Jesse, but it wasn't an awful slipstream. It's now Charlie. Oh, Charlie pulled into pit lane, so clearly not happy with the balance on that McLaren. Is going to go for it again. My cheeks was purple through sector 2, but unfortunately invalidated for him. Jesse's hit the wall and he's also invalidated. So a lot of drivers struggling at the moment. Ken is on a lap, a very fast lap. Let's see where he can put his Williams. Can he put himself onto provisional? Well, can he improve his provisional pole lap time, as he's already 2 times up through the first sector? So amazing pace by the Finnish driver at the moment. He's going to have to keep pushing if he wants to retain his P1 position he has at the moment, as Prince Clonte and Dan Snyder are both on the lap. Dan Snyder, Dan Snyder's on a cool lap because we saw him giving Jetsy the slipstream. Prince Clonte though, I didn't catch his first sector split unfortunately, but he's going to have to do something ginormous to beat this man's first sector split. He was 2 tenths up. An amazing lap from Ken at the moment, on a 43.6, and he's 8 tenths up through the middle sector. So great lap from the Finnish driver at the moment. Prince Clonte is marginally down in his sector 1 time, so that's not ideal for the AlphaTauri driver. That's Snyder's into the pit lane. Kieran is interestingly doing a lot of laps on the softs. Lord Busy was on a lap I believe, but unfortunately for him spun, as Danilo's now out of the session and he joins Dirk as the 2 DNFs, and it's a 42.6 for Ken. Amazing lap time. I don't think we'll be seeing anyone challenging that. I said the pole lap time was going to be in the 42s, the low 42s, and Ken has proved me right. Only a few more attempts until he gets to those 42s, but I'm sure he will find that improvement on his final run, as the track will be gripped up perfectly for a lap. But at the moment, a lot of people invalidating their second runs, but Jayville hasn't. So let's see what the Mercedes driver can do to the bus stop. I didn't catch any of his sector split times, and it looks like it wasn't a very good lap time as he's pulled into the pit lane. So Yemex also invalidated. Konigklon's gone for the mediums, interestingly, and he's not finding time at all. So a lot of people not finding the pace they need on. Zmaya the cheeks. Need to get out of AI there. A lot of drivers not finding the improvement they need on these second runs. Unfortunately for Dirk, yeah, we saw that purple sector 1, but unfortunately, if you push too hard around here, you are punished, as it's one of the most punishable tracks in the F1 game. But Charlie now is on a lap, so let's ride on board with the McLaren driver and let's just listen to his game audio. He just invalidates that, so that is rather unfortunate for the McLaren driver, who I presume will go again, as we see Elite Casper off the track there, having a spin on his second push lap as well. So a lot of drivers struggling to convert their second lap times, but of course the last lap times is where it all matters, as that's where everyone is pushing the most. Track grip is optimal, and all the sandbags are off. You can start to see the true pace of the drivers. But at the moment, it's Ken with a comfortable pole advantage at the moment. But I expect that to be whittled down, if not beaten, by the end of the session. We still have Jesse, Money the Cheeks, Dirk, who will not be sending a lap time, and Charlie, who I presume will be sending a lap time, 2 set lap times. So gonna have to wait and see. But Lord Busy is on an outlap. MW15 was on a lap, but unfortunately for him, he invalidated. Thibaldine is starting the lap. Koenig is gonna get out of the way nicely. Casper and Milky Streamer were on laps, but Milky Streamer's lost his car, so I presume that is qualifying session almost over for the Mercedes driver, unless he can trundle back to the pit lane and replace those tyres, as they will be cooked. But Thibaldine is about a 10 up through the first sector, but he just runs deep into the entry of turn 5, I want to say. But Thibaldine now coming down the hill, this beautiful downhill section around Spa, which is very difficult to get wrong. He comes around the long bend, heading towards the S section, where there's only one S, but it's very difficult to get wrong if you get on the curbs. So he's gonna have to watch that as he now exits the second sector. What is he gonna do? He's 1 second up on his lap time, so very good from the Red Bull driver, the Irish Red Bull driver at the moment. Of course, stepping in for Haswanis, who is unfortunately not present tonight, but Thibaldine might bring him a present if he can score a good finish for the Red Bull team. You fix it down into first gear in the final 2 corners. Not sure if that's the quickest way around the corner, but he got him nice rotation. He improves to P5 with a 1:44.566. So very nice lap time from the first Red Bull for tonight. And Lord Busy was also in a lap. He was on a very quick lap, but unfortunately for him, he also invalidated. He would have improved to P5 ahead of his teammate. MW15 just went 8 times quicker, but unfortunately for him, it doesn't improve his position. Yeatmex has invalidated. His session is over. Koenig is about to start his lap. Milky Street Casper's on a lap. He's 2 times up through the first sector, so good first sector from the Mercedes driver. Milky Streamer's session is over as he's lost the whole of his front wing. Rochi's session is also over as he's still in the pit lane. Jetsy is on a flying lap. Money the Cheeks is off and stopped on track on the exit of Eau Rouge. Charlie might not make the line. He's going to be close, and Charlie has missed the line here in the qualifying, so we'll start a P18 behind Dirk. Yeah, Koenig has unfortunately invalidated through sector 1. Yeatmex also invalidated. MW15 is going for it again, but let's keep our eyes on the front as they're all flying around the circuit. Now look how close Dan Schneider and Prince Colante are. Maybe some dirty air. Kieran is pretty close to these guys as well, so this is going to be crucial to see what they can do. Thibaldine's session is over. He will not improve, neither will his teammate Lord Busy. Jayville might improve though, as he's 1.7 up through the middle sector and he's purple. MW15 has backed off his lap, or he's run out of fuel, I can't quite tell. Elite Casper though is going to cross the line behind Thibaldine, who should get out of his way into the final corner. He locks the fronts a bit and he's into the pit lane, so Elite Casper will not improve. Jayville, we saw that purple sector 2. What can the Mercedes driver do as he comes towards the line? Where will it be? It'll be P2, 42.7. He just misses out on pole position, unfortunately for him. Who's next across the line? It'll be Koenig, but he's not going to set a respectable lap time. Ken did not improve on his lap time, so now it's all down to Dan Snyder, who's invalidated. So can Prince Colante steal pole position? Prince Clonte comes to line. It's going to be a 1:43.6. He will not improve to pole position. Jetsy will be next. Jetsy he's backed off his lap. It's a 2:16. It's an awful lap time from the Alfa Romeo, and it's a 43.8 for Kieran. He will not improve. So that is qualifying over, and it is Ken 9.543 in his first NRL race on pole position in the Williams, but boy, it was tight. Jabil gave him a run for his money right at the end. An amazing effort by the Mercedes driver. But many drivers, Prince Clonte didn't really hook up his last lap, only improved by 1/10. Dan started invalidated. Kieran pulled into the pit lane. Lord Busy, we saw him invalidate. MW15. Like, a lot of drivers, I think, made mistakes and could have challenged the Williams on pole position. Jetsy is a notable mention for that. Is he? I don't know what happened to him on his last lap, but he had 33 seconds off the pace. But just by finishing the lap, he managed to jump Dirk, Charlie, and Money the Cheats. Money the Cheats will start from last, as he was disqualified for the session because he just stopped on the exit of Eau Rouge, and then Charlie did not improve for Charlie didn't set a lap time, so we saw him miss the line. Dirk didn't set a lap time either, as we saw him crash on his first lap, which he was purpling. So we'll have to see what happens in this race. Ken, first time starting from pole, obviously in NRL, his first race. But here we go towards the formation lap. Ken leads us away for what's going to be a very long formation lap on a very long lap. But interestingly, I think that's Dan Snyder. No, it's Kieran. He decided to underfuel. So I'm not sure if that strategy will work for him, but he's underfueled that Ferrari. No one else opting for the same strategy as him, so maybe he's looking to be quick off the line and save the fuel saving for the rest of the race. But Ken leads us away in that Williams, taking his first pole. What can Dan Snyder do from P4, the championship leader? Who of course we haven't seen produce his finest qualifying session tonight. But maybe he can put it back in the race, as he normally does here in Tier 2. But we're getting down to the business end of things. It'll be interesting to see this battle for P15. Jetsy and Dirk, two P3 and P4 in the championship, I believe, running down in P15 and 16, so not great for them. Charlie and Money the Cheeks are the only two drivers who've opted for the mediums in this session. So that'll be interesting to see how they do on the alternate strategy. But everyone else has gone for the soft tire, interestingly. But Now they line up towards 5 red lights. Dirk will be the last car to cross the line, taking a um, very slow formation lap. But as we go towards 5 red lights, it'll be interesting to see who can do what, as Dirk now lines up on the grid ready to race. We just wait for the drivers to get ready, and now we go towards 5 red lights. 5 red lights, and away we go in towards turn 1. It's a good start from Kenny, covers off Jabil into the first turn, but Jabil's going to go aggressive into turn 1. Prince is also down his inside, so he has to be wary of the Aston Martin, and there's a Red Bull off the track, and there's someone coming back into the track. I believe that was Rochi. Rochi lost it on the exit, and now Kieran is all over the back of Dan Snyder, who's had a poor start. Ken got a clean getaway. Jetsy's out of the race. Jetsy Obzo is out of the race on lap 1, and Kieran is going to go for the move down the inside of Dan Snyder. Can he make the move past Alfa Romeo? He runs a bit off track, but he's just been spun around by Dan Snyder, and now Kieran will drop to the back of the grid. Unfortunate contact for him, but look at Dirk, the fast starting Ferrari driver, is already up into P10 from where he started. Milky Streamer's picked up 3-second time penalty and is struggling here in the Mercedes already. Rochi, who we saw spin at turn 1, is now also trying to make the move. As look at this, there's so many cars near to each other already on lap 1, and they actually starting to kick off. Dirk though is going to be all over the back of Danilo as they exit sector 1, and that's Rochi off again, and that's Casper going to try go around the outside of Yeatmex. I think Yeatmex defends the position well, but it's going to give Casper the run, and now Dirk is moving up into P8 in this race as he's going to go to the outside of Lord Busy, who's had a pretty poor start, so to speak. But Dirk now is up into P8 and making to look at P7 and looking to make it P7 as he goes around the outside of Danilo. Danilo leaves the space. Dirk forces him a bit wide on the exit of the final corner, but Dirk is up into P7 in this race. What an amazing start from the Ferrari driver. Charlie has damage, or is something has happened to him in this race as he's into the pit lane. For New Softs, Rochi, of course, we saw spin on lap 1. But now Danilo's going to attack Dirk back. I think Dirk has allowed him back through because of how he squeezed him at the final corner. But Dirk might look for it around the outside if Danilo's not careful, but he covers it off nicely. But Lord Busy and Yeatmex are having a go, and Yeatmex has just had to run off track to avoid contact with Lord Busy, and now he's side by side with Money the Cheeks. Money the Cheeks is going to try down the inside, and Yeatmex locks up a bit and almost wipes them both out of the race. But Kieran is going to make a lovely move around the outside, and Yeatmex is just losing position after position, and Mookie Streamer has lost seconds after seconds as he spun again on those hard compound tyres. But out front is a very good start for Ken at the moment. He's pulling the gap, pulling the pin on Jaber, who's clearly struggling. We just saw him exceed track limits there, but Dan Snyder managed to get 2.3 second advantage now to Thibaudin. Then MW15 has a 2.3 second gap to to Danilo, who is fighting with Dirk. And then there's a bit of a gap back to Lord Busy, who's fighting Elite Casper. And that's Dan Snyder. Dan Snyder is round at the final corner. The championship leader now loses 2 positions, and Lord Busy's into the pit lane in the background. Pushes Money the Cheeks now up into P10 and all over the back of Elite Casper. But now Dan Snyder is going to be vulnerable to the AlphaTauri of Danilo. He just spun at the final corner. Disaster for the Alfa Romeo driver. He now has to work hard to try defend from AlphaTauri Danilo. He's going to be using that ERS. He's going to be desperate to try get past, but he won't make the move. Yeatmex is out of the session. as she's crashed at Eau Rouge, and that is a virtual safety car. Will it be a full safety car though, is the big question. At the moment it does not look like it, so good news if you are up front, but Charlie just got the move on Rocci at the back before the safety car restart, sorry, before the virtual safety car was pulled out. Let's have a look at the position changes at the moment. It's been a great start by, of course, Dirk. Look at, he's gained 8 positions. To be fair to Mind the Cheeks, he has as well on the medium tyres, but most of his were because of well, the 2 DNFs and unfortunate incidents for these 4 at the bottom, and Kieran as well. But Dirk made some nice overtakes. Top 3 of all retained position. The Baldine is up to MW15 up 4, Dan Snyder down 2, Danilo up 1, Dirk up 8, Elite Casper up 4, Ninja Cheeks up 8, Kieran was moved down 6, but we saw that contact with Dan Snyder, I believe. Conan Cron up 1, and Milky Streamer has picked up a drive-through for speeding, for not sticking to Delta under the VSC. So that is now going to eliminate him of any chance of scoring points. But Ken now is coming towards the end of the straight. Here comes Dirk. Now he's gonna maybe have a look at Danilo, but he won't be able to because Danilo has the DRS. So they're kind of in a 3-man DRS train. But Casper might be able to look for me, but he's a bit far back on the exit of Eau Rouge, and Kieran is lurking all over the gearbox out of that Williams. So he's gonna have to keep himself occupied and keep his head in the game if he wants to possibly get a race win today, or a good haul of points. But at the front, the gap is 2 seconds now. The gap is 2 seconds now. 2.1 seconds, but that is Milky Streamer who's off at Eau Rouge, and that could be a safety car, but it doesn't look like anything has been called out. So unfortunately for Milky Streamer, he becomes the 3rd DNFE of tonight's race. But MW15's into the pit lane, so a very early stop down at McLaren. They're going for the ultimate undercut. It's very early to pit off his softs, unless he's going for the 2-stop. He's boxed very early for the hard compound tyres. So do McLaren think this softer hard is a good strategy? I don't think it'll work, but Kieran's followed MW15 to pit lane, but he's gone for the mediums. So MW15 can make the end of the race. Kieran, he's gonna have to stretch those tires. That's gonna be a big ask from the Ferrari driver. A lot of time management needed, but he's instantly gonna be under pressure and have to use the fresh rubber to defend from Lord Busy. He went for an even bigger undercut on these guys. I think that's because he might have had damage, but look how close he is to Kieran. He's basically pushing him down the straight as they now head down towards the end of the straight, and it's an easy DRS move for Lord Busy, who now moves himself up into P12. And whilst that was happening, Money the Cheeks has now overtaken Elite Casper for P9 in this race. So sorry, for P8 in this race. Elite Casper's falling down to P9. But the good news for Dan Snyder is that he's now in the DRS of Thibaudin. So this 3-car train now becomes a 4-car train. But Thibaudin does have 90% ERS. It's a very recognizable trait of the Irishman. Everywhere you see him, he has great ERS management. probably one of the best at managing ERS in the in the league. But Thibaudin is going to let that slider through on the straight to get the DRS down the long straight. He's going to get the DRS down the long straight, and this should be an easy move considering he has more ERS and will have the benefit of DRS. But Kieran now has gone back past Lord Busy into the bus stop chicane. But look at this easy move for Thibaudin on the outside. So smart tactics from the Red Bull driver, who just let that slider go to get him back again. But you have to wait and see how this fares, as I believe that slider is the quicker driver at this point in time, and he's trying to make that work. He's looking to the inside, and Dirk is also looking for a move on Danilo. He's been stuck behind AlphaTauri for quite a few laps, but Thibaudin's made a mistake, and that slider's going to go around the outside of the Red Bull driver. But Thibaudin's going to fight it, and he's spun onto the curb, and he's lost it. Now this is going to leave Dan Snyder vulnerable, as he had to take avoiding action, but he just about holds on, and Danilo with a little slide on the rear end through that turn. That could have been very, very dangerous. But Thibaudin now drops to P8 and behind Manya de Cheeks because of his spin, of which he fought the Alfa Romeo too hard and has paid for it with overheated tyres and a lot of lost positions. But we do continue, and this train is still very much alive. Still very much alive, and Dirk is starting to get frustrated, tucked up behind the AlphaTauri. But he might have a run down the straight. He's got more they've practically got the same ERS, but he's got a better run on the exit of Eau Rouge, and now Dirk is using his ERS to provoke a move from Danilo, who's going to go for the move with that slider. Dirk's going to go to the inside. They're going to make it 3 wide, and it was never going to work. Dan Snyder has made a bit of contact with both drivers, but Dirk has made the double overtake. Is now up into P4, and Dan Snyder's picked up a 3-second time penalty. Crazy driving there. I'm not sure how they all made it out facing the right way. Hopefully Dan Snyder hasn't picked up any damage, as he looks for an opportunistic move into no-name corner that has actually forced Danilo wide, and he might have damaged his wing, as we saw him touch the barrier, and he's run very wide through there, and that's going to allow Dan Snyder the move down the inside. So I think Danilo might have picked up damage when he ran wide. But oh my god, that Snyder's spun, and he's into the barrier, out of the race, and it's a safety car. What? I was not paying attention to my screen, and I look up and I see Dan Snyder's out of the session. And now everyone is boxing for new tyres, and that is crazy. Dan Snyder is gone from this race. The championship leader is out of the race, and it's an absolute disaster for Alfa Romeo, who have both drivers out of this race before we've even got into lap 9. I did not expect that. That is crazy. Alfa Romeo not having the best of rounds lately, and it's just been compounded here by a poor Belgian Grand Prix. So now could Prince Clonte and Dirk, who are now directly behind one another, could they close in this championship gap? It was 40 points before this race. If it finishes as it is, 40 points from Dan Snyder to Prince Clonte. If it finishes as it is, the gap will only be 28 points heading into the last 3 rounds of the championship. But if they are able to climb any higher, possibly a race win for Prince, the gap would only be 15 points with 3 rounds left. So Alfa Romeo is starting to lose a bit of form at the moment. After such a dominant start to the season, they're starting to drop off and lose time. But we'll have to wait and see how the race progresses, as anything is possible. If you've seen Dan Snyder crash, it can happen to any of these drivers out here today, and it's already caught 4 drivers out, that being the 2 Alfa Romeos, Yeet Mex and Milky Streamer. They're all out of the session, but they will have another chance at next week's Grand Prix. But P1 has been a difficult corner today. It's caught quite a few drivers out, including the 2 Alfa Romeos, and we saw Bibardine also spin at P1 early in this race. But I see a bit of overcast weather. I'm not sure if there's any rain forecasted, but it's definitely gotten a bit darker than it was a few minutes ago. So we're gonna have to wait and see how it progresses. But at the back, we're gonna have to wait for Rocci, who fair play to him, has stayed in this race and has stayed in this session and kept persevering. I presume he's going to pit for new tyres, as he won't want to be on those 8-lap old softs, but he actually ignores my advice and pits anyways. But it's going to be a very long time until we get racing again, so I'm going to take that time to shout out our sponsors, Interadata. If you want anything from there, from weddings to birthday cakes, you can buy from their website. And Prince Clonte is actually overtaking Money the Cheeks on the safety car, and now these guys are starting to make contact. But why has Prince overtaken Money the Cheeks under the safety car? He should not be doing that. I hope he's giving the position back. Money the Cheeks is clearly trying to get the position back. Prince is not willing to give it back, but that is interesting. I'm not quite sure why he's overtaken. I don't think Money the Cheeks was travelling awfully slow. If he was, then it's a justified move from the AlphaTauri. But if it's not, that is going to be a slam dunk penalty. But we'll see towards the end of this race. But he's now back up into P3 in this race, and he is going to start to challenge those in front of him. I don't know if anyone caught what happened between Money the Cheats or Prince Clonte. It just looked like Prince Clonte just overtook him, and obviously Money the Cheats is not happy about it at all. But if Money the Cheats was travelling slowly, then there's no reason why Prince shouldn't have passed him. But we'll have to wait and see what happens in the rest of this session, as we now go towards the safety car restart, and it's definitely gotten more overcast. I don't know if rain is on the horizon, but Ken will definitely not be looking for that, as he's driven a flawless race up to this point. And I just realised Jabil has a 3-second time penalty as well. Ken is going to leave it late to go for the restart, but he goes out of the bus stop chicane. It's a decent restart for everyone else, keeping it nice and clean, all single file at the moment, so no one's going to gain a mass of points. Rocci's into the pit lane. Koenig Klon, unfortunately for him, has spun off at the back. Oh, he's made contact with Charlie, and they're both now sent to the back of the grid. Ken, though, he's got a good restart at the moment, but Jabil is right there. Prince Clonte has had a poor restart, as the gap is now 1.1 already to Jayville. But Money the Cheeks might be looking for that position back, but he's going to have to be careful because Dirk is all over the back of him. It looks like no one's going to make any moves at the moment on this safety car restart, but through this middle sector, Dirk is going to have much more grip on those 8-lap younger tyres for Ferrari. But Elite Casper now is going to try to overtake Lord Busy on those hards. For guys like MD15 and Elite Casper, it's really just stretching these tyres until the end of the race, because that's when the medium tyre runners will start to fall off. But they have to be careful to not get caught up in battles. I think these guys have to be clever with who they battle. They have to pick their battles. You see Elite Casper deciding not to fight Kieran there, but also running a bit wide. They just need to keep a strong, consistent pace, not too slow that they fall to the back of the grid, and then when the hards become quicker, they can't do anything with them, but not too fast that they burn the hards out. And obviously try not to battle as many people on the meters as possible, as they will be reaping the benefit near the end if they don't lose too much time. But Ken briefly sets the fastest lap, but what a save from Kieran. Kieran nearly into the barrier, and he's immediately going to attack Casper again. Sorry, as I was saying, Ken set the fastest lap briefly before Jayville took it away, and then we caught on board with Kieran, who had a massive moment that nearly smashed the wall, but somehow has kept it in this race, and he's going to look for his P9 back as he's going for the move on Casper. Casper's moving a bit on the straight, he has to be careful now, but Kieran is going to make the move down the inside up into P9, so very nice move from the Ferrari driver right there, as now his teammate is going to be attacking Money the Cheeks in the Williams. Williams having a strong race so far, P1 and P4, but of course Money the Cheeks is yet to box, so hopefully maybe he's waiting for a late safety car as well. And during the confusion, Ken has also picked up a 3-second time penalty, so 3 seconds for both our leaders, 3 seconds for Lord Busy as well, and 3 seconds for Casper and Thibaudin. And Charlie is off at the back, not having the greatest debut. Definitely not as good as Ken's up at the front, but he's under pressure from one of the NRL greats, Jayville. He's been around since day one, and he's looking to make his position P1 today. He's all over the back of Ken now on these medium tyres, and he looks a lot quicker than that. Ooh, no, it's not. I thought I saw rain there on the... Jayville has a bit of a moment, but I thought I saw rain on the halo of Jayville, but unfortunately it was not rain. But can he attack Ken down the straight? He has DRS. Also keep an eye on Money the Cheeks and Dirk in the background. I don't think Jayville is going to get Ken as they come towards the end of the straight. No, he won't, but Dirk is certainly going to get Money the Cheeks. Easy DRS move, switches over to the inside to defend the position, and then moves back onto the racing line. But MW15 is now under pressure from Danilo, and Kieran is now up into the top 8 after making a move around the outside of Lord Busy, who's starting to struggle on these older medium tyres. But that is Lee Casper around, and he is now going to drop positions. Fortunately for him, he doesn't lose too much time, but it's still unfortunate. And we've seen a lot of spins here today, actually Spark, one of the most difficult tracks to drive around, but it's not been ideal for many drivers. Jayville has picked up 6 seconds of time penalties now, so this is going to make it extremely difficult to win this race unless Ken also falls into the same trap. They both only have around 30% ERS, whereas Prince has about 60. So if these guys battle a lot and Prince closes up to within 3 seconds, that could be crucial for the AlphaTauri driver. Ken, this is going to be the first time he's really feeling the pressure from anyone behind him. He's been superior in qualifying and superior in the race up until this point, up until the safety car restart, where Jabil's just been able to stick with him. But every time out turn 1, he has a big moment. Mind you, the Cheeks has had a big moment, and he's fallen down to P7, lost all of his wing, and brought out the virtual safety car. So that has halted Jabil's attack on Ken for this lap. So that is unfortunate for him. But mind you, the Cheeks is going to have to box for a new wing. Not sure what happened to him. He probably just lost it on the exit of the bus stop. But he is very slow at the moment, and it's picked up 3-second time penalty. So is Kieran going to go for the move, as Money the Cheeks is not travelling all too quickly, and Money the Cheeks runs off track to allow Kieran and Lord Busy through. Well, he actually is. Cuts the corner, and Jabil has sped under VSC, and that is the second time he's done that this season, and it's the second time it's going to cost him a chance at a race win. You just don't need to exceed on the safety car. Money the Cheeks now out of the session, as he's crashed at No Name, and no safety car. But Jabil has also crashed, and he's round in the gravel trap. So what was looking like what could have been a P1 or P2 for the Mercedes, he's now dropped to P9. He's waiting for all the cars to come past so he can get back onto track safely. Good stuff from the British driver, following correct procedure, but that has now completely ruined his chance. If the drive-through didn't already, this is completely taken him out of contention. So now Ken leads the race comfortably by 4.1 seconds to championship contender Prince Clonte. But anything can happen, and a late safety car could mix this up for these guys at the front. As Dirk now 3.6 off, so a P2 and P3 for these guys. I'm sure they'd be quite happy with that. If it finished like this, Prince would only be 22 points off championship lead, and Dirk would be just doing the maths, 96 plus 15, Dirk could be 100. Dirk could be on 111 points, which means he'd be 37 points off the championship lead. So not awful with 3 rounds left to go, but it'll be a huge task for Ferrari, and it'll be much easier for Prince Clonte, who's currently running P2 at the moment behind Ken, who's pretty much dominated this whole race up until safety car, where he was put under a bit of pressure by Jabil, but Jabil's now fallen back with with a drive-through for speeding under VSC, and a spin, of course. But now Danilo started to look all over the back of that McLaren, who's interestingly keeping up pretty good pace on those hard tyres. He's not fallen that far off, but Thibaudin has spun for Red Bull, and that is fortunate for him. He doesn't lose any positions, but he's still falling quite far behind his teammate, who was directly behind or battling with, I believe, before his spin. So now Danilo and Kieran are a 3-man train behind MW15. I presume Danilo will go for the move this lap, and MW15 doesn't have a lot of ERS either, so superior grip out of turn 1, superior ERS, and the use of DRS. It should be a pretty simple move for the Colombian AlphaTauri driver, as they now barrel down towards the end of sector 1 down the Camel Straight. Kieran is actually out of the race. Kieran has spun, and Danilo's gotten past just before the safety car. Danilo got the move done just before the safety car was called out. Kieran, let's look for his car. There it is, wrecked on the exit of Eau Rouge. Is out of the race, and Danilo just about got the move done just before the safety car, I think. I'm not sure, but it looks like he got the move done, so that is fantastic from the AlphaTauri. But it's another safety car here, so who risks it? Who boxes for new sauce, and who stays out and tries to go to end on the mediums? This is throwing a complete curveball in this race, I presume if I had to decide, I think Ken will probably stay out. Prince Colante will probably stay out. Dirk probably stay out as well. I think Danilo might take the risk and box with Sauce. I think MW15 he's gonna have to, isn't he? If there's guys on new softs coming up to him on 9-odd lap pass, surely he can't afford to do that. He's gonna have to box with new softs. Lord Busy is probably gonna box. Stibaldine will probably box as well. Jayville, he needs to take a bit of a risk in this race. Has he served his drive-through yet? Yes, he has. So that's good news for the Mercedes. But actually, Prince and Ken have not followed my strategy, and everyone is into the pit lane. So completely ignore what I said. Everyone's now boxing for new tyres. Lord Busy taking it. An interesting safety car entry. Is Stibaldine gonna box as well? Yes, he is, but it's a double stack for Red Bull, so that's not great. Danilo, Danilo's jumped MW15 in the pit lane. Oh, and who's that? Elite Casper's picked up a drive-through for, I'm not sure, I think that said speeding under safety car, so not a great race for Aston Martin at the moment. But everyone into the pit lane. Oh, new wing down at Mercedes. I think Javel must have damaged that when he hit the wall on his spin. Coney Klein is also in for new sauce. Charlie also in for new sauce. So everyone strapping on a set of the subs. It's going to be a sprint race. It'll probably be 5 laps to the end. A 5-lap sprint race until the end of the race. But Rochi stays out on his medium tyres. So he's trying to gain positions. Will he gain any on the exit of turn 1? He's having to stick to Delta, and that's just about... he just about gets past Charlie on the safety car. On the pit lane exit. So unfortunately for Charlie, he's going to have to stick behind the Aston Martin. Elite Casper though, he doesn't need to box as he just boxed for new soft. So we'll probably have to wait one more lap for these guys to catch up to the pack. But that is alright, as we will have 5 laps of a sprint race to the end. It'll be a sprint race till the end between all these drivers. But interestingly, rather crucially, Ken still has that 3 seconds. Look at the guys behind: Prince, Dirk, Danilo, MB15. 0 seconds of penalties between them all. Lord Busy, 3 seconds. Dibaldine, 3 seconds. Jabril has 6 seconds. That's not good. Ken Cron, 3 seconds. Rochi, no penalties. Charlie, no penalties. And Casper, I believe, had 6 seconds, but he also has a drive-through he needs to serve, so that is going to hamper his race quite significantly. But as the drivers are getting ready to go racing once again, I'll just run you through the driver standings, which I've been talking about all race at the moment. I'll just run you through them right now. So in P1, of course, we have Dan Schneider on 148 points. He's DNF from this race, so he cannot improve on that tally. Prince Colante runs P2 in the championship on 108 points. And then we have Dirk, who's P3 in this race, and also P3 in the standings on 95 points. 70 points for... and that's MW15 and Danilo, who've made contact. But lucky, F1 game has fixed the thing where you get stupid 5-second time penalties. It's fixed it, so neither of them pick up a penalty. Thankfully, F1 game has fixed that, as that was one of the most annoying things. Jesse's on 70 points, and he didn't score tonight, so 3 rounds left. 78 points is the maximum he can get. Yeah, so he's pretty much out of championship contention unless all the 3 drivers in front of him score no points until the end of the season, and he wins every race plus fastest lap. So very unlikely he will be crowned champion this season, but everyone else below that has no chance of winning the championship mathematically. Prens 67 points. Then it's MW15 with 58. Strong season from McLaren. Javil's then P7 with 47 points, ahead of Haswanis, who's P8, also tied on 47 points. Then we have Crumpton, who got promoted to Tier 1 on 45 points, and that's only after 3 races, mind you, so he's still 9th, despite getting moved up after 3 races. VR Josh, who recently joined back into the league, he left mid-season and now has joined back, but unfortunately could not join us here tonight. He's on 32. Then you have Money to Cheeks, who we saw a crash earlier, 30 points. Danilo's on 25. Quite poor season for the AlphaTauri driver, despite being in these top positions quite frequently. Behind him we have Koenig in the Haas. Lee Casper is 14th for Aston Martin, and Pinty, who's left the league, is 15th for Williams. So that's pretty much all the important ones you need to know, but we're getting ready for the safety car restart here as we go towards 5 red lights. As we go towards safety car restart, I don't know why I said 5 red lights. Ken is probably going to go where he went last time. He delays it a bit, but he's gone at the final corner, so pretty much the same place he did last time. Good restart for most of the drivers, but Koenig's going to be under a little bit of pressure from Rocci in towards turn 1, and Jayville is all over the back of Thibaudin. Good restart for Ken at the front, who's managed to keep his P1 not under as much pressure as he was last time. The gap is only about 7 tenths, but Danilo now is going to have a look at Dirk down the Camel straight. Can he make the move down into M sector 1? No, he can't. He fakes the move, and he's actually run a bit deep himself. This is going to allow MD15 to have a look around the outside, but Danilo quickly shuts that off. Rocci now falls to P11. He's going to be under pressure from his teammate. He's actually in AI, so that should be that will be a penalty for the Aston Martin driver, as AI is not allowed in this league. MD15, unfortunately for him, has picked up 3 seconds of time penalties. Ken is now stretched his lead to 1.3, so the Williams driver has shown some unstoppable pace at the moment, but as long as Prince can stay within 3 seconds of Ken, he'll pick up a crucial race win for him. MG15 is not going to allow that to happen, as he's trying his best to get past his teammate, trying to ruin the AlphaTauri party. And Jayville's gone past Thibaudin, who's out of the session. It's another safety car. Thibaudin's out of the session. Jayville has no front wing, so I presume contact between the Mercedes and the Red Bull driver, and it's another safety car. So that's not what you would have wanted to hear if you are Ken, as the gap you were building is now going to be whittled back down to just a couple of tenths, and he needs multiple laps of racing to try and pull away. If the safety car comes in after this lap, he'll have 3 laps to get away from the pack. If it doesn't, he'll only have 2 laps. So he has essentially 2 or 3 laps to pull a 3-second gap to win this race. It's going to be very, very tight for the Williams driver, but he has been the class of the field today, so I wouldn't be surprised if he pulls it off. Jayville now is boxed for new softs, and he's come out of the pit lane in P11 last, but he will have the chance to attack Rocci in P10 once he gets to the back of the safety car queue. Hopefully the safety car should be in this lap. It shouldn't need to take 2 laps, as all the drivers will be in the queue by the end of this lap. But looking ahead to final 3 rounds, I believe it's Singapore next. Don't quote me on that though. Yes, it is Singapore next, so that's going to be an interesting race. As Casper's off, and that's given Jayville a free position. I'm not quite sure what's happened to Aston Martin driver, but he very weirdly ran off track and now falls to P11. Yes, anyways, as I was saying, it's Singapore, Japan and Brazil to round up the season. Singapore and Japan two tracks we've never raced at before in NRL, I believe. So it'll be interesting to see how the drivers fare. Singapore is going to be a bloodbath, I know it already. It's going to be a very, very interesting race with, I presume, a lot of DNFs, kind of like today. It's a very difficult track to get right, and to keep out of the rules. I despise it myself, as I struggle around there so much. But maybe some of the drivers here will be targeting that race as one of theirs to possibly win. It might be one of their favorite tracks. Japan, it's a very nice track, and I have quite nice experience with it myself, with me winning my last league race there, I believe, or maybe no, I'm not sure. I think I won my last league race there, or if I didn't, no, that was the one before. So the one before my previous one, I won the race, and then my previous one I finished 4th or 5th, I believe. So I like the track. Very high speed track. It's an absolute joy to drive around, and getting the track hooked up is so nice. But Brazil, obviously a track everyone is familiar with. Everyone in NRL drove there last season. That would be a very interesting finale, as I presume a lot of these championships will go down to the wire, including this one right here, the PlayStation Tier 2. Oh, you as the Belgian Grand Prix, I heard they didn't even refund people. They just said they just gave you like your voucher or something to another F1 race. Complete scam from the F1 guys, I swear. Oh, they did the fans dirty at that race. But we're gonna have only 2 laps of racing at the end of this race, so that is not what you want to hear for your Ken. He has 2 laps to put out 3 seconds to the cars ahead. The good thing is that there will be no more interruptions. You cannot get any VSCs. You cannot finish under a safety car or a VSC in the F1 game. You can not have one in the final 2 laps. It just doesn't work, because MW15 is actually overtaken Danilo, so I'm not quite sure what it is with drivers and overtaking other ones. Okay, Danilo is in AI, so that is justified for the McLaren driver, and Danilo will be picking up a penalty for being in AI. But now going towards the end of this race, Casper can overtake Frocci if he wants, but he's deciding to stay back quite a little bit. But Ken now, he's going to control the pace of the restart as we go towards the final 2 laps of what has been an amazing Belgian Grand Prix. Ken is going to lead us away for the final 2 laps of glory. Can he win this race? He does have a penalty though, so it's going to be very difficult. A lot of drivers behind him don't have penalties. Prince, Dirk, Danilo do not have penalties, and Charlie is actually... oh, I thought Charlie got overtaken, but he hasn't. And Prince Clante's had a moment on the final corner. He's kept out the barriers, but that has lost him any chance of winning this race. And now Ken can still win this race because he has Dirk behind him, and Dirk is already 1.8 off the Aston Martin. Charlie's out of the session. He has crashed. Elite Casper now is going to be attacking his teammate. J-Will's crashed as well. Charlie and J-Will are out of the session. MW15 is pressuring Dirk towards the end of the Camel Straight. He's going to launch one down the inside. He has a look, but he can't make the move work. Dirk defends it beautifully, but MW15 might get switched back, but it's closed off. But look at the gap already. It's 2.4 seconds out front. That is going to give That's going to give Ken the race win if he keeps on pushing. But Prince had a look down the inside of M15, but he just couldn't get the move done. He's going to have to wait a few more corners if he wants to get past the McLaren, or maybe not, as M15 has bottled it through Puon. He's spun around and now drops to last in this race. Prince Colante is now up into P3, but can they stay within 3 seconds? Is Dirk quick enough to stay within 3 seconds? Prince Colante is currently 3 seconds off. Is currently 3 seconds behind Ken. He's more than 3 seconds, but look at the position change. Dirk has gained 14 positions from when he started. Incredible race from the Ferrari driver at the moment, but let's just keep on board with the gap to leader. As it stands, Dirk will win this race, but he has to stay within 3 seconds on this final lap. Prince Colante is pushing hard to get within 3 seconds as well. He's pushed in towards Dirk, but unfortunately for him, he's not going to have the aid of DRS down the straight. Ken he's now broken the 3 seconds from Dirk, but Dirk is going to be pushing to the limits of that Ferrari to keep himself within the top, to get himself onto the top step of the podium. This will be an absolutely massive win for his championship cause if he can convert it, but he has to keep within track limits. Prince is all over the back of him. He's getting close now. Elite Casper is retired from the session. He's crashed through Rouge as well. Becomes the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10th retiree of tonight's race. Not great right there, but the gap at the front is now 3.1. Ken is going to win this race unless Dirk could pull something out of the bag through the second and final sector. He's trying everything. The Mexican Ferrari driver, they both run deep, but it sets up the next corner quite nicely. Prince, I don't think, can win this race anymore. The gap is 3.4 from Ken to Dirk. Surely Ken has this in the bag now. Can he still win this race? Can Dirk win this race? But also watch out for Prince, because Prince is going to be looking for that P2. This could be a crucial move in terms of the championship fight. I think they've forgotten about the win now. They're just attacking each other. Prince tried to send it down the inside, but Dirk defended well. Dirk has run wide and he's actually hit Prince, and Prince picked up a 10-second time penalty for corner cutting. Dirk has run wide and Prince has picked up 20 seconds. What has happened at the end? Prince Colante picked up 30 seconds of time penalties in the last corner, and Dirk has got P2, and Prince has dropped to 8th. That is one of the most interesting ends to the race I've ever seen. Prince picked up 30 seconds of time penalties on the last lap in the last corner. Sure, he will be appealing that, and the Steelers will have to look at that. But 30 seconds, absolutely crazy. I can't believe a driver picked up 30 seconds in one corner. I've never seen that before, but great stuff from this man right here. Ken, who dominated Tier 2 today, just had superior pace, great qualifying pace, great race pace, and he picks up his first win in NRL in his debut. What a fantastic race from the Williams driver, who takes victory, but he will not be able to challenge for any sort of championship as he's joined way too late in the season. But Ken 9543 wins his first race of the season, and Dirk wins. Dirk comes P2 from 16th, gained 14 positions. Fantastic drive from the Ferrari driver, but I don't know, that'll be under review because of what happened to Prince Colante. Ken is in Tier 2. He's a Tier 2 driver now. He's a full-time Tier 2 driver. This is just his first race at the moment. Danilo finished P3. Good result for the AlphaTauri, but of course that is all provisional, as his teammate might steal the podium away from him. Conan Klon P4. Tier 1. Ken cannot race on Tuesdays. I would have put him in Tier 1, but he cannot race on Tuesdays. so he has to race in tier 2. I mean, it's not awfully quicker like Crumpton. Like Crumpton was just way too quick. But look at this. Conan Klon out of nowhere has picked up a P4. An amazing finish for the Dutchman. He's Mr. Consistent. He just always finishes races, and he's been rewarded today with a P4 finish. Lord Busy gets P5. Rochi then in P6 for Aston Martin, but I don't know if he will get those points because he was pretty much AI for most of the race. Endo 15 finished 7th, and then Prince Conte finished 8th and last because of those 30 seconds of time penalties picked up the final corner, which will be reviewed by the stewards, but we'll have to wait and see what the stewards' verdict is. Elite Casper, who saw DNF with a few laps to go, finished 9th. Charlie 10th. We saw him crash with Jaber with just 2 laps to go, or I don't know if they're separate incidents, but they both crashed at the same time. Vibaldine finishes in P12 for Red Bull. Unfortunately for him, he DNF'd today as well, alongside his tier 3 buddy Kieran. Mind the Cheeks also DNF'd for Williams. And then Dan Snyder finished 15th for Alfa Romeo. No points for the championship leader, no points for Milk Streamer or Yeet Maxila. And Jetsy, on his return after missing 2 races, scored 0 points after DNFing quite early in the race. Thank you for watching, Dean Granger. It's been an amazing stream, an amazing race. A lot of action, and I'm sure we will see the same next week at Singapore. That is going to be a bloodbath, and I'm not quite looking forward to it. It's going to be a very crazy race, but thank you for all joining in, tuning into the stream today, and I'll see you all next week for the round 11 at Singapore. Right, definitely rewatch the stream, as it's been a crazy race. But thank you all for tuning in today. I will see you all next week for PlayStation Tier 2 again at the same time, 8 p.m. BST. We'll be racing around Singapore, a night race, second night race of the season after Bahrain. But I've been VR F1 Lover streaming today, and I hope you enjoy the stream, and I'll catch you all next week.